I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another player review. Why are you doing 87 Kamara, I hear you ask, because we all know he's trash. Is he, though? That's the question. And the reason I'm doing it really, and I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise, is because I needed to play Weekend League games. And Kamara fits my Weekend League team beautifully in terms of chemistry. So to kill two birds with one stone, I took Kamara into the Weekend League and decided to just give him free run. He does replace Amavi, who he is actually higher rated than, so there's that. But Amavi is kind of there because he has 5-star skills, and I was going through a period where I really enjoyed using 5-star skills, and Amavi's a good card. So he's got a decent competitor there in that position. So what I'm going to do, not necessarily going to compare him to Amavi, but I am going to try and use him in Weekend League, and I'm going to hope at least that he can perform. Now, he does have 3-star, which EA seem to love. Medium work rates, which is not really ideal. Either high or high defensive, high attacking, one or the other. Medium is kind of like they can't be bothered half the time, and they half-heartedly come back, they half-heartedly go forward. I used to use overlap on my fullbacks and just balanced attack. I now tend to do overlap with stay back while attacking. Reason for that is they're more keen to get forward when you tell them to, but then they're more than happy to come back when you're attacking, and they stay back generally. So I tend to have a flat back 4. You'll notice that maybe some of the clips are a little bit like, why did I just have to watch that? And that's generally because my fullbacks, they do get involved a fair bit, but nowhere near as much as they used to. So if you've seen even Lucas, which was released a few days ago, I've changed my style quite dramatically since then. I tend to keep ball a bit more. My defending is quite passive in a sense, and I tend to try and block pass in lane, so there isn't an awful lot of lunging in and taking the ball. There will be some stand tackles and things, but just bear that in mind. Short and lean, because he's only 5'6". I mean, when you read this, you're thinking to yourself, there is absolutely no way I'm going to be able to get by with this. There's no way I'm going to be able to use him, and he's actually going to be effective. He doesn't really have great strength, 72 strength. He's 5'6" with a lean body type. He does have 99 balance, so he's got that going for him. Great agility in there as well at 99. His pace is very good, 95 on average, but of course 97 acceleration, 92 sprint speed. Not very good in front of goal, unfortunately. 85 shot power is nice, but the 65 long shot, 78 finishing means that if you get anywhere near the goal, you need to pass it. And speaking of which, you should be able to pass it well enough. 89 short passing, 80 vision. This just isn't a great card on paper. It's one of those sort of bang average, I can more than understand why he's cheap. But he's not as cheap as maybe you'd think he should be. You know, like Berardi, for example, and Pellegrini, they were like 30k. This guy is 60 plus. So it is a bit of a weird one as to how he's so cheap. I think the reason being is because he fits the meta of the game well enough. I'm not saying he's meta, because I don't think he is, but he fits the game well enough for this to be a viable option. It's kind of like Verratti, right? Verratti is actually a really cheap card. You kind of notice it a little bit more in terms of a CDM, and the review for Verratti, by the way, is already on the channel. You can go check that out if you want. He fits the game beautifully as well because of his lean body type. He's short, he's got low center of gravity, he's very good on the ball, agility-wise and balance and so on. And that's exactly what Kamara is going to feel like, and does indeed feel like. He does feel very good on the ball, despite having 76 composure, despite only having 80 reactions. Because of his height, because of his lean body type, because of that agility and that pace, he is, for all intents and purposes, a meta player, even though he's not, because he doesn't have a 4-star weak foot, he doesn't have composure, his strength isn't there. He's not meta for the position, but he does feel really good in game, which should be enough, or can be enough, for some people to accept his flaws. Me personally, someone who is now trying to look a little bit more on the, wouldn't say competitive side, I'm not trying to break into the top 100 or anything, but what I am trying to do is be better at this game. And to be better at the game, you need to, I wouldn't say you need to use a certain type of player, because you can be good while using sort of unpopular players and players that people don't tend to use very often. But What you need is someone who is slightly better than Kamara. Now, and that he does fall short. And I've got a Kemstel on him. I went with a Guardian in the end. Thought it would be better because we're boosting the composure up. Thought that would be important. We're also getting a defensive boost. Now, a Guardian is a very cheap Kemstel. You don't pay an awful lot for it. So you, by all means, can switch that up a little bit and maybe go for something like a Backbone. You get 5 extra on Strength, which takes it to 77. The defensive stats still go up into the mid-90s, which is very good. And of course, you get a passing boost, which, depending on how you play and how you use your fullbacks, can be beneficial. Now, personally, last week, if you asked me what Kemstel, probably would have gone with a Backbone because I wanted better passing, because they get far forward for me, because I was using overlap. And that strength is, obviously, I'm not going to say that it makes the world a difference, but it would be quite nice to have a little bit of a strength boost. And yeah, it would be better if you use an attacking-minded sort of setup, and you do have overlap, and maybe you've got balanced attack, or maybe you've even got join the attack for the fullbacks if you are absolutely crazy, then yeah, the Backbone is probably the Kemstel for you. However, this week, not playing that way, playing a more passive sort of tone in terms of defending, and I'm not sending my fullbacks forward too much. They do venture forward, and maybe now and again I would send him forward a little bit further than what I would like, just because we're in the review and we're trying to see what he's all about. But the Guardian for me, just to keep him a little bit more composed, a little bit tighter at the back, better defensive stats, I'm going to forego that strength and hope that the passing is good enough. For the most part, to be fair, it was a solid card. I'm not in favour of him over Amavi. Amavi is the player for me, I think. I say the player for me. I'm more than happy to switch him out. I think, just about maybe get away with someone like Team of the Season Lucas. I don't know if I'll go for him. Is there another French League left-back? What was the other left-back option that we had? Was there one? Lala is a right-back. Kamara is the left-back. And no, unfortunately, they didn't give us any other left-back. So, yeah, Kamara was the only option there for me to review him. Because I was thinking when I was doing it, maybe there was someone better I could have chosen to do this with. But no, apparently not. But, it is what it is. He's not a terrible card if you're a casual player. If you're someone who's not too concerned about, breaking into elite or trying to take that next step into your top 100s or whatever, and you are a casual Silver 1, Gold 3, 2 player, and you're just happy enough to just sort of trudge along, pick up the odd win, and get to that point where you're getting some decent red picks and rewards, by all means, Kamara is not that bad an option. He's cheap enough that you can go and pick him up, try him out. If you don't like him, sell him on with minimal loss. Of course, I'm saying this in and around the time where upgrades will start to pop out, I'm sure, but before upgrades, the price actually does surprise me. I think he's a little bit too overpriced. I don't think there's any need for him to be as expensive as he is. I say expensive. He's cheap, but he's expensive for what I thought he would be. I thought, well, I'll pick him up because he's bound to be like 30k. He's 87 rated, and I think they're playing completely different positions, but I would much rather have an 88 Berardi, who, by the way, is actually a very good card, and even in terms of in-game stats, actually a very good card. Kamara doesn't, there's things, this, that, and the other is wrong. I would like this to be improved and that to be improved. With Berardi, there's not an awful lot wrong with him. He's just not good enough, if that makes sense. And he's 30k, so it really is a bit confusing. But I suppose the reasoning behind it is because maybe he is the best French league left-back you can buy, because Amavi was an SBC. So if you need the strong links for the French league, then that could be why Kamara's price is as high as it is. I'm not sure. Should you go and get him? To be honest, depends. If you desperately need that link, you can get by. If you are trying to improve at the game, you're trying to break elite, or maybe forget elite, maybe you're just trying to get better at the game, and you are going to have to rely on players to be better, to sort of drag you forward, if you will, to carry you in that sense. And maybe you're just trying to get into gold and you've never got there before and you're just not good enough to do it, but you're trying. Kamara probably isn't the player for you. If you are comfortably finishing in the rank that you are happy to finish in, whether it be silver or gold or whatever, and you're comfortably doing it, you lose a few games, but you've got a few games left at the end of the weekend with the rank that you finish in, I think Kamara could be a fun card to use. I wouldn't say he's going to cost you goals, but now and again you'll be like, well, I think maybe a stronger left back would have been able to shrug him off and not allow that player to get in behind. A slightly taller player would have been able to do this. A player with a better weak foot would have been able to do that, and so on. I think he's decent. He's just nothing to blow your socks off with, which is kind of what I thought when I looked at it. He's unbelievably quick, though. I mean, the pace and the movement on him is insane, and that's the only real sort of standout. Oh my god, I love this because of that reason. I do love his left stick dribble. That was a lot of fun. Fake in one way and then quickly go in the other is very, very good in this game to use as a legit tactic to beat people, and Kamara does it very, very well. Just don't venture too far forward with him, because the further forward you go, the worse he starts to get. But in terms of a okay, not too bad left back, yeah, why not? If you have enjoyed this player review, do me a favour and hit that like button. Let me know who you want me to review next in the comments. Subscribe to the channel for new, of course, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.